He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. All right, I like a little spirit. Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So it's Saturday. We got a lot going on. We had a little bit of a snow here last night. It's kind of melted off now, but we got a little bit of the footage of that this morning. So we'll go out and do some morning chores with a little bit of snow in the background. We've got a delivery today. Not sure we'll get any footage of that, but we've got a delivery going on today. And we've got a new pig coming. If you can believe it or not, we didn't have any pigs around here. Insert sarcasm. So we've got a new pig coming today. Our friends Stephen Smith and his dad Tim from up at Iron Bell Acres, which is about 20 minutes north of here. We've bought a Hereford large black cross boar piglet from those guys. So they're going to be bringing it down after a while. So excited to see that. We're going to trade out the game cameras today. The cards on those, we'll see if we caught anything there. And also we're going to see what those mamas are doing with that bamboo. Excited to see what's going on out there. Little mama's been in heat, so we've been trying to get her bred. I think we've got that done, but I think she's still in a little bit of heat. There's just a lot going on here today. So stick around with us for a little. And people ask me all the time, what's the most gentle breed of pig? Well, they're all gentle and they're all mean. It depends on how you handle them.
Yep.
You get in there with them, you handle them, they get used to you. Pigs aren't aggressive at all, but if you don't never mess with them, and then you get over in there and you're not used to them, they detect that you're afraid of them, then yeah, you're gonna have problems with them.
Well, it's just like with the boars. I mean, you never can trust them, even if they are gentle. You know,
Yeah.
just always, especially with the females in heat. You know,
just keep your head on a swivel and pay attention to them, and you'll be fine.
and accidents can happen too.
Oh yeah.
Our big guy's getting. I mean, he's huge, and he's getting about 400 pounds or so now, and he's, you know, he could bump his head into you and knock you over if he wanted to. You know, it's.
Well, let's have a look at these fellas here. Hello, boys.
Be pretty nice.
So we ended up not keeping him and learning counting ads on him.
That'd be an easy thing to do, though. I can see myself doing that. You get somewhere and you get excited about something looking, and
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. All right, I like a little spirit. Come here, buddy.
Yeah.
He might be the bigger of the two. I think he is the bigger.
like I say, these two guys that came off that black boar I got, which is, you know, high percentage large black that came from David Crafton.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the mamas were pure Herefords that came from a lady named Debbie out of Roaring River.
Yep. Okay. So they're large black Hereford.
Yep.
Okay.
And most of them came out, you know, Hereford looking. There was a couple of them that were black. There was a couple of them that are what I call like black bodies, you know, like the white face and black body.
Now I bet those were pretty.
They are, and they're younger, and I think most of them were females. They were born off that last litter we had. That was the last that was Hereford.
Yeah.
But in their litter everybody was pretty much looked like them. There was a couple solid reds and there was a couple solid blacks.
Yeah, man. Tell them all about it.
But I mean, they work fine. I've not had any trouble out of them. Just got to make sure they got enough sunshine. This one really needs to be up here on the south. I mean, it's not in a good spot. David, grab the thing out there and see what it's at right now. See how hot it is. So these are the let's see, recording. So these are the breeders. Y'all have seen them on a number of videos, and we're going to be moving these guys out of this training pen probably tomorrow. Most of them. The boys are probably going to stay in here for another day or two because we got two new guys today. These two fellas right here. These are a couple of Hereford boars from a friend and fellow farmer, about 15-20 minutes north of us here. And so we're gonna keep them on the electric, get them trained, make sure they're good to go. They have been on electric, but we want to give them a couple days to get used to their pen mates here. But excited about these guys. They're about 7 weeks old, so we're going to add them as part of our breeding program, and they'll eventually be put into service as breeding boars. We've still got Jack, the big guy. Right there's Jack. We've still got Hamlet here, and we've still got Ham Sammy. We've talked about Ham Sammy, and I think we have decided we're probably going to go ahead and castrate him and move him over with the feeders. Couple different reasons. He's really not kind of growing at the rate that we would hope that he would. There's just a couple different reasons we're gonna castrate him and move him over, and not keep him as a breeding boar. So that's going to be the deal. We're going to have four boars, Jack, Hamlet, and then these two new Hereford boys. So we'll see how they end up doing. And then, so we got the stuff in today, the rest of our stuff to build our paddocks out. It's getting kind of late in the day, so we're going to build our new paddocks tomorrow. And our feeder pigs over here, we'll get them moved out tomorrow onto a new spot. They have been here way too long. I don't like to leave pigs on this area, or on an area, as long as we have these guys. But again, we ran out of fits and supplies, so that's my fault for just not paying attention to what we were doing. So we'll get their new paddocks built and get these guys moved out tomorrow. So be glad to get them out of the mud and give them some more areas that have got some vegetation on it. So one of the new pieces of equipment that we got is this Gallagher S40 solar fence energizer. I had looked at a number of solar energizers on the Premier One website, and based on cost, you know, I just really didn't see anything that just struck me as outstanding. And I've got a couple of smaller Gallagher fence energizers, so I elected to go with another one of these. This one is much larger than anything that we've had in the past. This is the S40. According to their website, it does power up to 25 mile single strand wire perimeter fence, or 5 miles of a multi-line fence, which should cover somewhere between 30 and 80 acres of land. Now, those are just claims. It's a 0.4, I think. It's a 0.4 joule fence. Yeah. 0.4 stored joule energizer. So I'm going to put this thing, I've had it sitting outside on the on a pallet facing the sun. This came before the wire did, and here's some of my wire. This is some Speed Right poly wire. It's more of a braid, a lot thicker gauge, 6 strands of copper running through this. So we're going to give this a try tomorrow whenever we build out our new paddocks. So that's going to be the wire, but that's the wire that we got for these new paddocks. But we're going to put this thing on the piglet paddock right now. It's just running a single strand of poly wire on it. Let's do a test on the small Gallagher energizer that we got up there. We'll see how many joules or how many volts it's pushing. We'll hook this one up and see how many volts it's pushing. The thing that I did like about this particular energizer that I've not gotten with Gallagher energizers in the past is they did send the leads for the energizer to hook to the fence and to your ground. So let's put this thing together and hook it up to our fence and see what we got. So hooking up leads is pretty simple, especially with this one. They sent a green lead and a red lead, and basically you just unscrew these knobs on the back of the Energizer. It's got just a little horseshoe style clip that just slides on there, and then tighten that thing back down, and after you've left it out in the sun and got your battery charged, you should be good to go. So this thing's got a couple settings on it. The first setting is to keep wildlife out of an area. It's a faster pulse, and then also the second setting down here is for your livestock, and it's got a little bit slower pulse. And there's some features on this. I'd have to get the instruction manual out. It changes the speed of the pulse during the day. I'll post a link to this thing in the description down below, so if you're interested in one, you can pick one up. But we're going to hook this thing up and try it. We're going to set it down here on the livestock setting, and we'll test our wire and see what we got. All right, so real quick, what we're testing, this is a Gallagher S10 solar energizer, much smaller than the one that we're going to be using. I had to build the leads for these. I did use a red and a green wire, and then just found a couple of alligator clips to put on there. So this is on. As you can see, it's sitting in the sun right now. It's getting a pretty good dose of sunlight. We've got a single strand wire running all the way around the inside of both of these paddocks, and then there's a single strand wire that runs across the divider between the feeders and the breeders over there. So let's see how much juice we got. Let's walk up here. We'll get kind of away from the energizer a little bit so we're not right at it. $6,200 volts, 6.2, 6.1 kilovolts, 0.5 amps. So that's pretty good fence. I mean, that's fairly hot. We'd like for it to be a little hotter, but 6.2 kilovolts. So let's hook the big energizer up and see what we get with it. Okay, so we got her set up. I mean, this is pretty simple. I had just pulled a lead wire up off of the wire we had run around the perimeter of the inside of this paddock. Just pulled a lead wire up, tied it off to an insulator, and that's what we've got our positive lead hooked to. And then, I know people are going to probably beat me up for this. I typically will just clip my ground wire to the T-post that I've got in the ground. There's probably 18 inches of that thing in the ground, and it is super wet right now, so we've got good ground contact. So let's take the tester and see how we're comparing to what we had a minute ago. Remember, we had 6.1, 6.2 kilovolts. Okay, so again, about the same distance away, and now we're reading 7.6, 7.7 kilovolts. So we went up about 1,000 volts, 1,500 volts. So they did add a little bit of juice to it. So good hot fence, that's helpful. Probably some things that we could do to improve that. Maybe a better ground rod. Need to go along, make sure we're not touching anything, not grounding out anywhere. But that's fine. That'll work. We'll go with that for a while and see what happens. Again, we're going to move everybody out tomorrow anyway, except for the boys over here. We're going to keep them in, so that should work. So let's do a little update on the bamboo. You remember we moved these sows into this thick grove of bamboo about 2 days ago now, and you come down here and it's kind of like there's a scene in the movie Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs are making their way through a bunch of trees and just pushing the trees down. So when you come down here, she's still in a little bit of heat. So when you come down here, these pigs start pushing their way through the bamboo, and it looks kind of like seen in the movie. But they're really starting to work it over a little bit, making some paths through it. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but we're getting some disturbance. They're starting to push some of it over, eat some of it, making some paths into it and through it. So they can stay in here for a good long while. We're going to continue just to leave them in this space. Let's go over here on this side and see if we can see a little better. What they've been doing. Yeah, there's a lot of it over in here that's starting to get pushed down, bowed over, pushed over. I hear the other sow in there right now grunting. There's a good spot, good shot. You can kind of see how they've pushed all this down, pushed it over right in there, really disturbing it. So we're going to leave them here for a while, let them continue to see what they're doing. Found some new trash in there. I found a toilet tank a little while ago. So right here's a good spot. They've really rooted some stuff up in there, pushing some things over. So they're doing what we expected them to do. Chewing on that old dead tree there. They're doing what we expected them to do. They're just gonna need some more time. Only 2 of them in here. It's a pretty good sized spot, so we'll continue to leave them for a little while and see how they do with it. So real quick, I'll mention it. If you go to the description down below, there's a link to Amazon down there. That's our affiliate link. If you're gonna be doing any shopping on Amazon, click on that link, follow it over. We get a little bit of a commission off that. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help support the channel. So if you'd like, just go down there and click on that link before you go do any Amazon shopping. So the mamas doing a pretty good job on that bamboo. They're going to need to be there for a while. Not a whole lot of pig pressure on that based on the amount of biomass that's just in that particular paddock. So we're going to leave them there for a little while and let them continue to do their work. Really tickled with the 2 piglets that we got today. Those guys look good. 7 weeks old. They're a little bit behind everybody else, but I think they're going to catch up pretty quick. Love the shape. They just look good. I mean, they look like they're good, healthy, strong pigs. Looks like they're going to make a couple of really nice boars. So excited to see what they're going to end up doing. Like that Energizer. We're going to be doing some paddock building here in the next couple days, so we'll be using the other Energizer and we'll be using some of that wire. That's a new experiment for us. We've never used this type of wire before. Sandra said she's going to go ahead and buy a couple rolls, but we'll give it a try and see how it ends up working out. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to post a link to a couple other videos over here, some other stuff we got going on. If you've not subscribed, subscribe, follow along with us. We're doing pigs and chickens and eggs and gardens and never know what we're going to get into. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks.